splitting up in the military terms from the Soviet Union, and of course President Kravchuk has declared himself to be Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Ukraine. So there is at this point considerable uncertainty among the military and a very great uncertainty among the people. The prospects of chaotic developments are very strong, so this is one of the reasons why we should try to resolve this constitutional problem as quickly as we can.
Gentlemen, we can't predict the future with 100-degree certainty, but Marshal Shulman, we can talk about Mikhail Gorbachev. We've grown accustomed to his face. Should we feel sorry for him?
Well, yes, I think there is a tragedy in that he who provided essentially the big demolition job during his 6.5 years in destroying the old order now perhaps has reached a point that many other illustrious political figures have reached, that after their moment has passed, they become essentially rejected. And it is partly that his strengths were also his weaknesses. What was his self-confidence in the beginning, his boldness, now seems to have been a stubbornness in resisting the movement toward the Commonwealth.
Well, there is that inevitable tide of history that sweeps everyone in front of it, including Mikhail Gorbachev. Vitaly Churkin, should you feel sorry for Mikhail Gorbachev and what his apparent fate is now?
Well, I think very many people do. They feel that he has done a lot, but one person, one politician, can do only so much, and then the events will take their toll, and probably it may turn out that his time is up. But let me say, I do not expect him, as you can see in some reports being suggested, that he's going to step down in a day or two. I think that at least he is going to fulfill his responsibility as the president in seeing to it that the current process is legal and conclusive. So for another week or so, I don't think the president is going to be confronted in a final form by the big decision whether or not he should resign.
Vitaly Churkin in Moscow, Marshal Shulman with us here in New York. Thank you very much. And of course, one unanswered question yet is what we are going to call whatever succeeds the Soviet Union. Thanks for being with us this morning. Mary Alice.
And we'll be back in a moment with some unfamiliar music by Bach. Not by Johann Sebastian, by his sister. It's been kept secret for centuries.
Sunday Today is brought to you.
Who followed her brother to fame and fortune in London town. Wolf contended the kid wouldn't have had a chance. Well, Virginia, Johann Sebastian Bach did have a sister, gifted, ambitious, and hidden from the world because she was a girl. NBC's Bob Kerr has found gold in the archives of great music, girls' gold.
On a quiet street in Louisville, Kentucky, 6 musicians unlock a door to the past. What they play has not been heard for hundreds of years, all of it composed by women in the 17th and 18th centuries. Not only was their music often overlooked, historians often pretend they didn't exist. For instance, the musically talented sister of Johann Sebastian Bach.
Here is the family tree of the Bach family. Now look at this family tree for a minute. Read it.
Johann. Wilhelm.
Notice anything else about this
There
name?
aren't any women on it.
There sure aren't.
Yeah.
This is
A
great.
few years ago, Susan Riegler decided that the so-called masters should have company on the classical music shelves. She and some friends created a group called Ars Feminae, Latin for the art of women. They've just released a second recording on their own label featuring chamber music written by women.
Basically, a lot of these women were either attached to royal courts or attached to the church. And this is the tradition of this sort of music in Europe. And so this music was performed for royalty or performed as church music, much of it. We have a lot of composers who are nuns. And then it would also filter into popular audiences.
But that was not the way Pope Innocent XI wanted it back in 1686. He did not want women to sing or play instruments, declared it was too immodest. Yet this piece, written by an Ursuline nun, was composed in direct defiance of the Pope's edict. It's now the centerpiece of the Ars Femina concert. Cari Musici.
The name means dear musicians. And we had a source that said that there were motets published in Bologna, Italy in 1691 by a nun named Bianca Maria Maida. The title referred to the voice of church authority telling the women, the nuns who were making music, to shut up, say, don't do this.
Cari Musici was published 300 years ago this month and performed for only a few years before it disappeared.
No one had had the time or taken the time to go into the archives and really look at what was there. We have actually newly discovered several pieces, but there were a lot that were known of that really next to nothing, virtually nothing, had been done with.
They are all dedicated feminists as well as musicians, and when they were trying to put together a concert in 1985, they could not easily locate a single piece of Baroque chamber music composed by a woman. So they began searching European publishing houses, libraries, and archives. All this had to be done in spare time. Away from Linda DeRung's choir at New Albany High School,
The primary sequence of proteins.
Susan Riegler's biology class at St. Francis High,
That was perfect.
Jim Oxer is organist at several Louisville churches. Music and teaching fill their days. Linda Hurd teaches several instruments. Katie Whiteside and Bill Bauer are orchestral musicians. While rediscovering this music, they also perform it much the same as it was heard centuries ago, on original instruments dating back to the 1600s. Susan is also resident biologist at a nature preserve outside Louisville. She says much of the classical music we listen to today was lost until recordings came along.
The whole rediscovery of music from that time period happened the early part of this century, when people wanted recordings to play at home, and so musicians started hunting for more and more music to record. So they went back to libraries and archives and started finding this music. So musicologists looked for music that was of a known quality.
Take us back to the life and times of the women whose music you perform. Why couldn't they become stars?
Many of them were. And it varied from country to country and time period to time period. Jacquet was certainly a star in France in her time. Full name was Elizabeth Claude Jacquet de la Guerre, and she was a court composer to Louis XIV. She introduced the sonata form to France.
They don't expect to unearth the female equivalent of Mozart and insist it's unlikely any undiscovered male musician could be his match. But these musical archaeologists say there's a lot of great music composed by women, as yet unheard by too many of us.
That this wonderful music from this time period was not included, wrapped into the whole canon of Western music. I think there is a lot of very wonderful music waiting to be rediscovered and performed, and slowly but surely we're doing that.
For Sunday Today, Bob Kerr, NBC News, Louisville.
Right now.
But the movies that usually come out at Christmas time have a certain Christmas blessing associated with them. 52 years ago today, Gone with the Wind was released, and it still is among the highest-grossing films of all time.
It had no problem, but today making movies, it's high anxiety time. I don't think there's any other industry which will spend $30, $40, $50 million. Right. It's a roll of the dice. And Al Roker's going to roll some dice right now for us, Al.
Oh, thanks a lot, Garrick. In fact, it's red and green dice. The folks in Hollywood are hoping during the 12 days of Christmas, you're going to take in one or two movies, and to give us an idea if we're being naughty or nice to Tinseltown is Susan Line of Premiere Magazine. Susan comes in and helps us out with the movies each Christmas season and a holiday season. So far this year, after a really rough summer at the box office, are we being nice to Hollywood the way it seems so far?
A little bit better, and they're hoping we'll be even nicer to Hollywood, but certainly things have picked up ever since Cape Fear came out. That started people, I think, going back to see movies again.
And in fact, we've got a compendium of some of the big movies that have come out so far. Let's take a look at some of, so far, this Christmas's movie hits.
Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared, Beauty and the Beast.
Did he touch you? What are you laughing about? Why are you smiling? I'm asking you a question. Did he touch you? Let that smile off your face. I'm asking you, did he touch you?
The way you were staring at me, I thought you were going to ask me for something a little more exciting.
Like what?
Use your imagination.
I'm using it.
Let me know when you're finished.
Who are you?
I'm Peter Panning, attorney at law. Those are my children, and I want them back, please.
Those are your
children.
These are your children?
Yes, they are.
And you're?
Peter.
You're Peter?
Yes.
You're Peter?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're Peter?
Yes. Is there an echo in here? Yes,
My great and worthy opponent?
Yes.
Now, Susan, we included Hook as one of the big hits of the season, but so far, its numbers, 2.1 million on opening day, seem to be a little on the disappointing side.
Well, that was a Wednesday, though. You've got to take that into consideration, because this is essentially a kid's movie, and I think you probably won't see the real numbers until Saturday and Sunday. But they're concerned about it.
It's gotten a lot of bad reviews.
It has, and I actually think it's unfair. I think Steven Spielberg is held to a different account than everybody else is. If he doesn't outdo himself with each new film, if it's not transcendent in some way, people tend to attack it. And I think this is a wonderful movie. It's great fun, and it's really fun to take a child to.
Now, when we have the hits, we also have some surprises. Like any good Christmas gift, we ought to have a surprise. So here are some of the movie surprises this season.
I love you.
Have you ever kissed anyone? No. Here, practice on your arm like this. Like this? Mm-hmm. Okay, now practice. 1, 2, 2.5, 3. It's made from real lemons? Yes. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Dang, you're a handful. We've done this before.
Ooh, dogs. I hate those guys. What the? Cat got your tongue? Oh, my... Okay. I made it. What a stupid dog. Nah. Your mother was never housebroken. Toodaloo.
Now, The Addams Family, so far biggest hit, but yet has not gotten great reviews overall. Do the critics have an effect on holiday movies, do you think, Susan?
Not a very big effect. We'll see whether they can actually get people into movie seats with Bugsy, because Bugsy's gotten brilliant reviews, uniformly brilliant reviews. And if they can't get people to see Bugsy, then I think they really don't have any power.
And now there's still a couple of big movies left to come out this season, right?
There are. There's still JFK, which there's a lot of curiosity about it. I think a lot of people are very interested in that, particularly people our age who remember this event. And there's also Prince of Tides, Barbara Streisand's new movie, which is a lovely film.
Okay, Susan Line, Premiere Magazine. Thanks. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're going to fade out, but for a few minutes, and when we come back on the small screen, we'll have updated news, weather, and a whole lot more when Sunday Today continues.
He'll bring specific proposals about controlling the country's 27,000 nuclear warheads, as well as other conventional weapons. Before leaving Washington, Mr. Baker said he'd received assurances that the nuclear weapons were safe and secure. The Hawaiian island of Kauai is still cleaning up the damage from Saturday's torrential rains. Up to 15 inches of rain fell during 24 hours. 3 people were killed, 2 others are missing. More than 50 homes were destroyed or damaged. It was the island's worst flooding in 10 years.